You know, we talked about the euro earlier. I want to get your thoughts because it's actually strengthened against all of its G10 counterparts this year. I would imagine it gets to a point where it becomes counterproductive, it puts the recovery at risk, even becomes deflationary. Has there been any conversation within the Bundesbank over the currency strength?
You know, we don't have a currency target, and you're not going to expect me to make an assessment of the future of the currency. You know, I've been now in office for a little bit more than 7 years, and one of the reasons is that I never comment on what the future of the euro or any other currency is going to be. But and I'm not going to change that. But as you can see, the economy is strong, not only in Germany but in all of the euro area. And that is, of course, a factor.
And I guess on that note there, Mr. Dombret, monetary policy does take some time to have the desired effect. You know, I liken this to essentially a hunter where you need to aim a few steps in front of the deer to hopefully get that accurate. On that note, and you mentioned macro data seems to suggest the economy is strengthening. Do you feel that this year or now is the proper time for your colleagues at the ECB to start discussing normalizing monetary policy?
What we are looking at, of course, is the rate of inflation. And as you have noticed, inflation in the euro area is up markedly. Headline inflation, according to flash estimates in the eurozone, is at something like 1.9% for April after 1.5% in March. So inflation is somewhat up. I don't see any deflationary tendencies anymore. I have to admit that I didn't see them also a year ago, but for sure there are no deflationary tendencies. And what you see is, if you look at inflation, that the tailwinds from a stronger economy will also have effects, as I mentioned earlier, on wages and on consumption. So according to the ECB estimates, we will be close to our target, or we'll be at target at the latest in 2019, which means that we will, over time, get to our price stability goal of 2% or close to 2% with regard to headline inflation. Core inflation, though, I should also mention, in April stands at 1.2%, which means that we still have quite some influence from the effects of all prices. And if you exclude energy prices and food, again, the core inflation is 1.2%. So we're quite far away with that respect from our price stability target of 2% or close to 2%, which means that the present monetary policy stance seems justified at the moment.
Andreas, I want to bring it back to China. What opportunities do you see there in the bond markets, especially with the Bond Connect that the PBOC is pitching at some point in the future?
I'm not the biggest expert in Chinese, rather on European bond markets, but I must say that, as I said before, that I see the economy rather positive, that I'm not afraid of immediate downside effects. And what everybody is watching, of course, is what's happening in the Chinese real estate market. And it really depends on how you value that. You also look at different debt at different levels in China. But I leave any speculation about bond markets to the people who make money in it and who know that best.
All right, opportunities there. And of course, you're there in Tokyo. How's it going with the third arrow?
Also, you're asking me a question which I would hope you would ask the Japanese government. I think that we need all three arrows in Japan, and how close that is or not is not for me to say, but it's important to have all three arrows being shot at some point in time, because it is a package of things, and that's why the third arrow is of course
Indeed.
essential.
Andreas Dombret, thank you so much.